Hello and welcome to Brands Hatch Circuit. You join me here for the Equipe Classic Racing Libre race on Saturday the 19th of March. At the moment we're just going around and doing the warm-up lap, so I'm going to just try and read through the field very quickly if I can. Number 1 in qualifying was Sandy Watson in the Lotus 11. Number 2, Rick Wilmot in his Jaguar E-Type. Number 3 was Maitland Tetley in a Jaguar E-Type. 4th place was Nick Matthews in his Lotus Elan. 5th, Tom Smith MGB Roadster. 6th place Pratt & Pratt in a Morgan Plus 4. 7th Robin Ellis in his BMW 1800 TSA. 8th was Richard Hewell Evans in his Healey 3000. 9th Paul Keneally Ford Mustang. 10th John Hughes MGB. 11th Harry Wilmot MGB. 12th Simon Milner MGB. 13th Andrew Williams Healey 100. 14th John Tornoff MGB. 15th Mark Gordon Lotus Elite. 16th David Russell-Wilks, that's me, MGB. 17th Chris Ryan Austin A40. 18th Longdon in the Austin in the Mini Cooper S. 19th was the Ashworth TVR. 20th Stephen Winter MGB. 21st was Raw and Sans de Essico. Have I said that right? In a Triumph TR4. 22nd John Pearson in his Volvo. 23rd Wilkinson in MGB, and 24th Coldwood Triumph GT6. So we're formed up on the line now and ready to go. A little bit of a hill at Brands Hatch, so I've just got my hand on the handbrake there just to stop the car from rolling forward. So you just see the red lights come on in the distance, out again, so very quick red lights there. Made a decent start here. You'll see that it's Richard Hewell Evans in the Healey. He just bogged down a little bit there in the white car with the green stripe that allowed me just to get up alongside him coming into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time here. I like to take that sort of outside line using the first couple of corners. I do find if you get into the middle you can get rather stuck. Behind me there you see Rob Cullen, his TVR, tried to make the pass going up into Druids, but I think he just ran out of space, but I think he's going to come back as we get down the hill. We've got Paul Keneally there in that lovely Mustang, Chris Ryan there in the Austin A40, so dropping down now into Graham Hill Bend for the first lap. Still all fairly tight together. I picked second gear here just to try and get a little bit of better drive out of it. I have been trying to do that corner in third gear. Now you see Rob Cullen, that TVR there. Quite a fast car, and he comes straight past me. Behind me there, I think I've got Harry Wilmot in the green MGB, Rob Cullen in front of me, Chris Ryan in front of him, and then Paul Keneally in the Mustang. So coming around now, fairly happy with the start there. I think I made a couple of places up, but quite a lot of the race still to go. And I've just seemed to have lost a little bit of ground there coming onto the main straight. I think from what I can tell, I'm probably in around about sort of 14th or 15th place, so possibly 1 or 2 up from where I started, but all sort of going well so far. Let's see if I can just close up a little bit here as we go up the hill. You can see the field started to spread out a little bit, not a huge amount on just the first lap. So around Druids we go. I think I'm pulling second gear at the moment still. That's Andy Williams in the Healey 100M behind me there, dropping down again into Graham Hill. Third gear this time. I think I just prefer not to stress the gearbox too much if we can at the start of the race. We go through Clark Curve here, then up to Clearways. Fairly fast part of the circuit. I like to sort of try and get a little bit wide on the entrance into Clearways there, but I think I went a little bit too wide, and I think I've left the door open a bit for Andy, but I think I might just be able to stay ahead here. We'll just have to see. So back down the main straight now for the completion of lap 2. I'm still just staying ahead of Healey. I've got 2 MGBs behind me, which is Steve Winter and Harry Wilmot. Steve's in the red car and Harry's in the green one. Dropping down now through Paddock Hill. I tried this in 4th. Can be a bit of a risk, but I've got a short diff in today. That does mean I get a little bit more drive out of the corners. So there we are, around the corner there. That's Druids at the top, dropping down again to Graham Hill. This is, I think, Simon Ashworth has taken the, well, I've lost 2 places there. We've got Simon Ashworth in the red TR4. I think he's driving, or it might be his father Mark, and Andy Williams in the blue one, in the blue Healey 100. I think I qualified just ahead of the TVR, but I did qualify behind Andy in the Austin Healey. So here we are, back into Clearways again. And usually I find a race settles down a bit. Need to get those sort of first couple of laps out of the way, try not to make any silly mistakes, and then you can sort of look at getting settled in and just trying to find your stride. I think is the important thing after the opening laps are out of the way. So here we go back up to Paddock Hill. I probably didn't get quite as wide as I should have done there. I should really be getting out onto that green as much as I can. I was sort of fairly happy with the balance of the car though. We seem to carry good speed through Paddock there. I think I'm in. By the sound of that, I've probably stayed in 4th gear for Paddock Hill again. Up the hill to Druids here. We've got Chris Ryan in the Austin A40. He qualified, I think, just behind me by 0.2 of a second. So we're sort of fairly evenly matched. Just down again into Graham Hill. So I haven't lost too much, position from the cars in front of me. But I can see I've got Harry Wilmot quite close behind me there in his MGB, and also Steve Winter in the red MGB. So I'm going to sort of have my work cut out keeping them ahead. I think Harry qualified quite a bit ahead of me, 0.7 seconds faster than me, and then Steve Winter was a little bit slower, sort of just about half a second slower than me. So at the moment the car's sort of behaving itself pretty well. Back round again now for lap 4. I think Harry's a bit too far back there to try and make a move going into Paddock. So I've tried again in 4th gear, which it's sort of a difficult one because you can seem to get a sort of a good carry bit of speed through the corner, but you can be just that little bit slow coming up the hill here back to Druids. So there we are, back into 3rd. And around there you see Harry's got quite close to me there, so he's sort of tried to make a move on the inside. Managed to just stay ahead, a little bit of left foot braking down here into Graham Hill. And I think I've managed to just stay ahead for now, but he's certainly knocking on the door to try and get past. And I think I've lost a little bit of space to Andy in front as well. See, Harry's got fairly close to me. Steve Winters there as too. I think I can see Mark Gordon in that lovely dark green Lotus Elite in the background. But I have to say, I'm fairly happy with the way everything's going. The field's opening out a bit, which isn't really surprising, but I'm certainly sort of haven't lost too many places from the start, and the car seems to be running well. So brave move there from Harry down the inside. I think he's managed to make that stick, and now he has got that inside line on me going up to Druid. So unfortunately here I think I've had to leave the door open, and that's going to let Harry, and I think if I remember correctly, Steve Winter's very much in that frame as well, and they both get past. And I think am I going to get past again here as well by John Tordoff? Not quite in the light blue car. So around again there. Looks like we've got a car off there, which is unfortunately Simon Milner in the number 49 car. He's just come off at that's coming at the exit of Graham Hill Bend there. So let's carry on around. So we're still racing at the moment. And I think given the position where that car is, it's no surprise that we're going to have a safety car imminently. So back round here again. I think this is the end of lap 6 if I remember correctly. Coming through here. Still at racing speed now. I've dropped back a little bit, I think, from Steve and from Harry Wilmot there, and I'm pretty certain now the safety car flag has been flown. It's hard to tell from the view at the moment. We'll soon tell. Oh no, it still looks like we're racing at the moment. The safety car hasn't been deployed yet. Must be the next lap, I think. So around again we go. Back down the hill to Graham Hill Bend. You see Mark Gordon, I think he's managed to get past John Tordoff there, which we didn't see in the rear view. So we did have yellow flags at the bottom of the hill there, which wasn't a surprise with Simon's car stranded at the side there. So you see, this is a very annoying thing just happened there. The car has started to pop out of gear, so it was in fourth there, and on the overrun it popped out of fourth gear into neutral. And unfortunately, this was not really a good sign this early on in the race. And as you'll see in this video, this does tend to get worse and worse. So going up the hill now, again passing the start-finish straight there. I just put the hazard lights on to show that I'm slowing down because those safety car flags have been flown. You notice again that car has dropped into neutral. Very annoying when you're trying to go around Paddock Hill. Probably doing about sort of 80 miles an hour or so at the top of it there, and then you just put your foot down and nothing happens. So we're into the safety car now. So I think what I will do, we just have a quick look, see where we are on the track. See how many cars I can see behind me. Should give me a fair idea. So there's 4 or 5 cars behind me. One's dropped off, so I'm probably down in about 18th place now, having started in 16th. You see, you've still got the yellow flags there to show that Simon's stranded. But the safety car will be out, and that car is going to be recovered. So we've had a few laps under the safety car, and I made the decision here to try and get an early pit stop. Looking at my clock in the car, I think it showed me just about 15 minutes, which was is the earliest time to do the pit stop. Pit stop window opens at 15 minutes and closes at 30. At the time, it seemed a great idea. I sort of got a free pit stop here. No one else decided to come in, and I thought I was bang on the limit for the 15-minute pit stop. Unfortunately, as it turned out, I entered the pits here 2.2 seconds too early, and that meant that whilst it was a good stop, it didn't count, and I ended up with a 3-lap penalty for doing a pit stop at the wrong time. So all I have to do now is I sit in the car with the engine running for 45 seconds. I can't do anything. I've just got to sort of wait. You're not allowed to refuel or anything in the pit, and once those 45 seconds are up, I just sort of cut the video there, as you can see. So we are back in gear and off down the circuit. I've got to be very careful here, not speeding the pit line. I think I did just go over by a mile an hour or two, but luckily that wasn't spotted. I do have a little line on the speedometer to show me the pit lane speed indicator. So here, back on the race circuit, I think in front of me I've got the 2 race leaders. Although I am a lap down on them, obviously, because I've done my pit stop. So we're back at race pace. So the safety cars come in. And at the time when I was driving, it sort of seemed like everything was working out pretty well. I had a nice big gap behind me. I didn't get sort of caught up in the whole sort of problem when you have the safety car restart, that someone sort of holds back a little bit, you can end up getting a bit stuck. So everything here seemed very good. The only problem I was really having was that gearbox popping out of gear. So let's ride for a lap and see what happens. So watch that gear stick again. It drops out of gear in 4th. So I'm going around the corner there in neutral, fighting the car unfortunately to get it back. Coming through clearways now. And whilst it's not all that, well, I was going to say it's fairly inconvenient having it slip out of gear, and I think unfortunately it was costing me a second a lap all the time it was happening. So whilst I was sort of confident I'd done fairly well with the pit stop until I found out, obviously, that I'd made a complete mess of it. I was unfortunately having to fight the car all the way around. So you can see here, a real example of how bad it was. Paddock hill bend, a fast corner. You've got to hold the steering wheel with one hand, hold the gear stick with the other to try and keep it in gear. And so sort of easy prey there for the cars behind me. That's Tom Smith, who in fairness would be past me anyway, gear stick problems or not. And then down the hill again now, and I'm having to hold the gear stick all the time to try and keep it in gear. A little bit of left foot braking there going into Graham Hill, but unfortunately with that gear stick problem, it was a real issue for me throughout the race. So along we go now up into clearways. Following Tom there, I'm having to sort of hold that gear stick most of the lap. We've got Rob Cole back behind me. At this time I wasn't all that bothered because I knew they still had to do a pit stop. Usually a pit stop, even for a sort of a fast driver, is going to be sort of 1 minute 8 to 1 minute 10 seconds. So whilst I'm sort of a lap down on these guys, I know with a lap time of a minute I'm going to be sort of in a good position later in the race. And there you can see that I think is the race leader or second place in a Jaguar. So I thought I was on a really good thing with this, unfortunately. But with the way the gears were, I was losing a second of lap, and I think I ended up back in about sort of 14th, 15th place on track. And then with the time penalty, with the lap penalty applied as well, I was a long way out of the running. So not the best of weekends for me. We've got the gearbox out of the car now to try and have a look this weekend and get it swapped over. Still trying to. Which has been one of those issues, had sort of gearbox problems continually for the last season or so. So we'll see if we can get something sorted out in the near future. But hopefully you'll join me at the next race or in my garage again soon. We'll be at Snetterton, I think on the 18th of April for a one-day race there. But thanks for joining me. Sorry it's not the best of races to watch, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.